Hey everyone, Chris here with Intelligence Studios, and today we're looking at a song that I'm just starting right now. Some of you might recognize it from back in the 90s. It's I'm taking a video game that was one of my favorites in the 90s called Ristar, and because I just loved the soundtrack growing up. I remember being a kid, and just like that was kind of the first time that I was a heavy gamer, like everything Sonic. I loved the music in that, Mario, everything. But Ristar just hit me in this way that I just found every piece of the music to have its own quality and sound like very professional and well composed. So I wanted to redo it, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm just starting off with one of my favorite songs on the Ristar soundtrack, which you might recognize once I play it. But I wanted to go over a trick, kind of dispel a myth that is spread around a lot with reverb, which it has credibility, and it definitely majority of the time is true. But everyone says put reverb, on a bus or on a track if you want it to sound far away and in the background. And that does work. 99% of the time that is what reverb achieves with a sound. But there are other things you can do with it. And so where my head was at, I have this reference track from the actual video game. And it sounds very 8-bit, just dry, and I wanted to I'm making mine when I record everything. I want it to sound a little more real and kind of modern. That's the twist I'm putting on the album. So I wanted the reference track to kind of mirror what I'm going to record as the final result. So it's a little bit closer in my head just to what I'm hearing throughout, because I'm going to be playing this over and over again and need to really hear the nuances of it and follow those. So this is the track I did with reverb, which doesn't necessarily push it into the background. This is where the myth can be dispelled a little bit, because at 1% of the time you just kind of want to beef up a song and make it not in the background, but you want to add something to it to kind of give it a little bit of an underbelly and just a little more width in the stereo field to really make it sound more real, and especially when I'm working with this kind of 8-bit sounding track. So you can use any reverb for it. I have it going straight to bus 1, which is my reference track reverb, and did a slight EQ just to roll off the low end and the high end, which I normally do on all like reverbs and delays and stuff like that. And I was just using a PT verb that I had a preset saved up that I liked. The trick is not to make it super wet, because if you make it super wet and then blend that in over here, that's when it's going to actually kind of push it in the background and give you what that 99% usually does when you use reverb. But so I just wanted a little bit of wet here, and you'll hear what that does. I just want to make the song a little bit more kind of sound like it's being orchestrated rather than just playing through an 8-bit recording like it is. So here we go. Play it dry. Sorry, there's a lot of talking, but I need to get my point across. So we'll play it dry here and then go back and do the reverb. I'll pick a part where the song like really kind of needs to be beefed up. So right now you see the reverb is muted right here, and this is just the dry track. Okay, so yeah, it sounds very 8-bit, but I love this song. I love that part of the song especially. Um, so then when you add in the reverb, it's going to sound a little bit more, again, just kind of beefed up and kind of real, less, takes the 8-bit vibe out a little bit. But it's pushed up only slightly into the mix, because I don't want it to overtake the original mix and actually make it sound like it's being pushed into the background. So mixed in slightly to taste, and I'll show you what that does. We'll play it dry again, just the beginning part of it, because that's where you really kind of hear a difference. So we'll play it dry first, and then without further ado, I'll turn the reverb on. Hear the reverb fade out the end there. So yeah, I think it just gives it this cool vibe that takes away the 8-bit a little bit. So we'll go dry again, and then actually first I'll show you with just the reverb. So this is without the dry track even. This is just what's being added, mixed up into the original track. So pretty cool. Play it again dry, and then I'll turn the reverb on.